Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, and for today's video I'm going to share with you my Axie Infinity week 3 clutch plays plus some tips to help you win in the arena. So I'll be sharing with you some arena strategy so that you can say goodbye to lose streak and have a higher MMR so you could earn higher SLP. So just to share, I've been playing Axie Infinity for 3 weeks now, and my first day of play in the arena I really struggled a lot before I got my first win, but now that I'm on my 3rd week I finally figured out and learned the best strategy to use in the arena, and that's what I'm going to share with you guys. So if ever you find this video helpful, so don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time we release a new video. So let's get started. Join me in analyzing my previous gameplays so you can learn how to win in the arena. So shout out to my first opponent, Bottleneck. Alright, so the first thing that you should do in the arena is to check your opponent's Axie type as well as their respective cards. So my opponents here, we have Plant, Beast, and Aqua, so the so-called ABP team, and we have checked their cards. So basically for round 1, you are given free energy, but you can see here I decided to play my cards and use all of those energy. And why is that so? Because my enemy, the Plant Axie of the opponent, has a Steel energy card, and that is one of my strategy in this situation. When the enemy has a Steel energy or Destroy energy card, I rather use my energy so that I could defeat that Axie who has that card, that Steel or Destroy energy card. So in this situation, you could see that it's really a good thing that I've used up my energy. So that Plant Axie used that energy stealing card for the second round, so it won't be able to steal anything from my energy. And additionally to that, I was able to damage or decrease the health of my opponent's Plant Axie. So for round 3, so each round that I am given energy, I use it all up. But the priority here is once your plant has a good set of cards, make sure that you give it enough shield. So since an Aqua, a plant is stronger, or the Aqua is not that much effective when it's attacking a plant, so that's why my Plant Axie has survived that one. So we are now on round 4. So the Plant Axie of the opponent is still alive, and I only still have 2 energy. But the reason why I'm using up all my energy is because I have another Axie, my Beast Axie, who has a gain energy. So if you don't have a card that has a gain energy or Steel energy, so you could opt to conserve your energy instead. So that's one thing that you should also consider, is calculating whether your opponent will have a shield. Just like for example that Aqua just made just 1 card to my Plant Axie, so it will not immediately die or be knocked out. So now that I've knocked out the Plant Axie, here's my strategy. So since my Aqua is a lot more effective than the Beast, so I will really burst until I was able to defeat it. So that's, I hope you're learning from what I'm doing here. So even if I only have 2 energy per round, so I'm maximizing that in order to defeat the enemy one by one. And by the way guys, I don't have any backdoor cards, so my only choice here is to be able to defeat 1 Axie at a time. So starting with the front one and then the mid laner and lastly, the one at the back. So the enemy now has only one Axie left, an Aqua, and since my plant is still in front, so this is a chance for me before it dies for my Beast Axie to be able to land and attack to that Aqua. So since I still have an attack here, so somehow I will be able to decrease the life or the health of the opponent's Aqua. So that's how I strategize. And now that I've got here free energy, so this is one of my techniques here that I've just recently maximized this sweet or spicy hot pot of this Aqua Axie that I've got, since it's a chops, it's not pure Aqua, so it's got this spicy surprise, and once you use that as a debuff, so it will cause your opponent not being able to use its mouth card for the following round, and that is a huge thing because for Aqua, they've got really powerful cards, like damage about 100 plus. So you really need to maximize this one if you have it. If you don't, then you really need to come up with a strategy by really checking your cards. So we will still use again this sweet surprise, the spicy surprise, so that for the next round this Aqua opponent will still not be able to use its mouth card, and that is a really huge thing. So that imagine that 110 attack power that it won't be able to use for the next round once my Beast Axie is already knocked out. So it only has 2 cards. It used 2 cards. So you should also calculate if that Beast Axie is about to die in just 1 hit, then just use 1 card. But most of the time Beast can enter the last stand, so maybe that's the reason why the opponent used 2 cards to make sure that my Beast Axie will die. So now that I've got here a lot of energy left, so I'll play 4 cards. And this is one thing that made all the difference, by the way, I forgot to mention it a lot earlier, is for you to be able to take note the energy and cards used by your opponent per round. And that is what made all the difference from my previous gameplays that I always lose, and to this point that I'm doing really well somehow, better than my previous gameplay. So it played 2 cards and now it still played 4 cards. So that is it for my first victory. Isn't it amazing, guys? So I hope you're learning so far. So now let's go to our arena game 2. So match number 2. So shout out to our opponent, New Dream Time. So for this time around, we have our opponent a plant, a beast, and a bird. So luckily for this one, the bird doesn't have a dark swoop wherein it can attack the fastest Axie enemy, because that is one of my cards, one of the Axie opponent's card that I really hate, aside from the stealing and destroying energy and also the stun. Okay, so there are a lot of the buff cards that we really don't want. So for round 1, the enemy played 3 cards. So guys, if you have an enemy that is a lot effective than your plant, it is always safe to assume that for the first round, once it has received a good set of cards, that it will attack your plant Axie. So if you've been given a good set of cards, a good shield, make sure to maximize that and use that so that your plant will not immediately die. So it's a good thing to protect your tank. And always take note of the energy that is used by your opponent as well as the cards that are being used. So since the opponent also has this gain energy, you should take note that it has gain energy for that round. So you'll know how many cards it can play for the next round. And that is a very crucial thing. You'll be able to calculate and predict what move it can make. So for my opponent, it doesn't also have a backdoor card. So my strategy here is to be able to really protect and give a shield to my plant Axie as long as it is given a good set of cards. And also, if my beast Axie is given a good set of cards, my goal here is to be able to defeat the plant Axie of the opponent. So now that the beast of the enemy is now exposed, so this is a time that I will really maximize my aqua cards so that I can defeat its beast card. So normally beast doesn't have any good shield, so it is safe to play at least 3 cards, and make sure if you have a card that could end the last stand of the beast, it will be a lot more effective so that it cannot enter the last stand. So I still played a card for my plant to give it a shield, and fortunately, since plant is its type has an advantage over the bird, so it didn't die with that attack. And now a prickly trap. Imagine the damage that the opponent has received, since a plant is a lot more effective than a bird. So that's one tip again that I could share with you so you could do better in the arena, is for you to be familiarized, or rather master, the Axie types and their advantages or disadvantages over the other Axie types. So imagine that is really such a sweet victory. So now our MMR is 1278. So how are you guys doing? What can you say? Are you learning so far? I hope you are enjoying this video. So now let's go to our opponent, free fish. But the team is composed of a plant, a beast, and an aqua. Alright, so let's now check again the cards, but as time goes by, as you keep on playing on the arena, even by just looking at the body parts of your opponent's Axie, you can immediately determine what cards they have. Like for example, if the plant Axie has just this very tiny mouth straight line, so it is a still energy, so that's the reason why I played all my cards. And normally for a beast type, so you could see we've got both a rimp, so the Ronin, and the imp. So the Ronin for the back and the imp for the horn. So you could immediately see that this is really a very strong beast. Plus it has a squirrel tail, so it has a nut fro, and a mouth also a nut cracker. It really is a very powerful beast opponent, so that's why as much as possible give a good shield to your plant. And luckily I have here a cattail slap, so every time a beast attacks my plant Axie, so I can draw a card. And why is it very important? So this is another tip, guys. So for the first round, if you're given free energy, you are given 6 cards. So once you were able to use that all up in the round 1, for the succeeding rounds, you'll only receive 2 energy and free cards. And that's why it's really very helpful if you have a card that can help you draw cards. Like for example, the October treat, once the shield doesn't break, it will draw a card. So it really is very helpful if you have those kind of cards. So again, my strategy is to be able to defeat immediately the one that is in front, especially if it has a still energy. So I can now begin to conserve my energy. But since it's again a beast, so I'll play another free cards for my aqua. So if it's a plant, beast, and an aqua. Actually, this is one of my favorite opponents, as now I've figured out and learned the best strategy and how to be able to defeat this team. So how are you guys doing, learning so far? So now we're again 3 versus 1. I have again the advantage, and it's really amazing because before I'm always the one who is 1 versus 3. I'm the one with the Axie that is only 1, but now I've got 3 Axie alive, and I'm really happy with the improvement I have with just 3 weeks time. So Aqua, so it already defeated. I thought that Aqua will just play 1 card, so I decided to give 1 for my plant Axie. So I now have 4 energy here. So another tip that I could give you is that as much as possible, if your beast Axie is now exposed, so since the Aqua Axie of the opponent has advantage over your beast Axie, so you really gotta strategize if you're still going to give it a card that uses up an energy or not. So that's the reason why it is very helpful for you to count the energy that is left with the opponent. Since I've counted that, but I didn't take into account that my beast Axie will enter the last turn, so that's why it's really not a really good decision. But you see that I've not given my beast Axie an energy card, a card that uses up energy, so in the end I still have 7 energy, and this is a huge thing because I know that the opponent only has 2 energy. So I got the advantage here again. So it really is a great strategy for you to conserve energy or make sure that you have a lot of energy left so that you can win in the arena. So victory again. So thank you for watching. Okay, so no, not yet. We're not yet done. We still have 1 more opponent. So shout out to Jesset.Inc.99. Alright, so for our last opponent that is featured in this vlog, so we have another plant, beast, and aqua. So the beast is kind of different. It's not a pure beast, so it has a card that could skip the closest target. So if you have an opponent like that, you really better be aware because anytime it could attack your beast. So for the first round, I still used up all of my energy because again my opponent has a steel energy card. So I'd rather use that than for it to be stolen by the enemy, because for the enemy having additional energy and I only have 2, so without any damage, so that is not really a good thing. So for round 2, we only have here 2 energy, so both of our plant are still almost full bar, but the priority here is always to give a shield to your plant and somehow be able to attack the enemy plant or your opponent's plant. So prickly trap, raise the damage. So little by little, your goal is to be able to decrease the health of that opponent plant Axie. So for this round, unfortunately, I know that the enemy has enough energy to burst me. However, I was the first one to land an attack, so it used a destroy energy. It was able to steal 1 energy from me. Good thing that I don't have good shield for my plant, and the beast Axie of the opponent didn't attack me for that round. So now that the plant Axie of the opponent is very little life left, always assume that it will put up a shield. So it's better to use 2 cards for me so that you can really be sure that it is already knocked out in just one round, because if it's still left alive for the next round, so that is not a good thing. So you can see here that the enemy Aqua is attacking my plant Axie. So it's not very effective because the Axie type plant is a lot more effective than the Aqua. So there, again, now that the opponent's plant Axie is gone, so we are only using 2 cards here. So you could also calculate that the life of the piece is only around 200. So this time the enemy used 3 cards, so it assumed that I have a shield. It entered the last time, so but good thing I have here the raise morale or the self rally for my beast, and also a gain energy card. So if you have an opponent that enters the last stand and you have very little energy left, I've got only 2. So should you play a card or not? What should be the best thing to do? So it's entirely up to you. So I just decided to use my gain energy, so the enemy or the opponent still has the beast. Okay, on the last stand. So what do you guys think is the best thing to do in this situation? Should you again skip a turn or play a card? So let's find out. Type in the comments below, if I were you, what will you be playing for this round? So since I have 5 energy, I decided to use... Okay, I decided to give my beast Axie 2 cards, but that is not really a good decision, right? That is not a good decision because I'm only left with 4 energy. But if you'll count the energy that is left with the opponent, so it could have about 2 or 3 cards. So it has a slap, a tail slap that could gain an energy. But this is one of my favorite again. The chili surprise, being to say I cannot use its mouth card for the next round, but fortunately we were able to defeat our opponent. So victory, 4-win streak. So our MMR is now 1-3-1-1. So it's my first time, guys, to reach 1-3 MMR. So it's not really that high yet, but I'm really happy with this milestone, this achievement that I've got, considering that it is only my 3rd week of playing Axie Infinity. So I hope you guys have learned a lot from this video. So whether you are a scholar, you have your own team of Axie, or you are an aspiring scholar, so I really hope that you can apply the strategies that I have shared here so that you can improve your arena gameplays and increase your chances of winning. So that is it, guys, for this video. So if you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time we release a new video. So once again, thank you very much, guys, for watching, and see you again on my next video. Bye!